So the big question today is, what was my experience in Italy? And more importantly, how was it meeting the in-laws? Well, today I'm thrilled to share the magic of my trip to Italy and meeting my future in-laws. My name is Nwosu, and welcome to the Second Chances podcast, a love journey in black and white. It feels like so long ago, but it wasn't just last week that I got back from a beautiful, might I say, romantic and adventurous trip to Italy. We started off in Florence, which is where Davide is from, and Florence is just magical. It's just an enchanting, ancient city. Every corner felt like stepping into a Renaissance painting, like the art, the culture, the little cafes. It was just beautiful. It was very, very inspiring, and I enjoyed getting to see everything about Davide's life and how he grew up and all of the things that he was used to. And of course, Michelangelo's David. Like, there were statues of David everywhere. And just going through that experience just reminded me that love, much like art, can be found in unexpected places. It was such a powerful reminder that life's beauty is often found in the moments that we share with loved ones, because I got to live his past, his culture, his upbringing, and it just really added so much more to our relationship. And then, of course, we had to go see the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Of course, it's only an hour plus from Florence. So that was the next thing that we did. We ventured to Pisa. And as we walked towards the Leaning Tower, I was just in awe. Like, this is such an architectural marvel. I was stunned because I didn't expect it to look as modern as it looked, and just seeing how it was leaning. Of course, I've seen it in the pictures, but just standing there and just seeing how this tower with this lean yet stood so strong, it just showed for me, as I drew a parallel to romance and love. It's just like, when the foundation is strong, it doesn't matter what is shaking on top. Right? The foundation will always stand strong. You will always pull through, regardless of whatever challenges and setbacks show up in a relationship. So that was probably one of my most beautiful moments in Italy, just staring at this edifice and just being in awe of how it can still be standing and not falling over after many, 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 many years. And of course, I heard the story about the Leaning Tower of Pisa, which I don't know because it was Davide who told me that story. So I'm not going to say it until I do some Googling to see if it's actually true. But if that is the true story, then wow, even more. And then, of course, you cannot go to Italy without going to Rome. So we went and spent the day in Rome and just walking through this. So Rome is more of a city. It's a bigger city than the other towns that we had been in. But again, still a lot of these ancient monuments, like just the history, seeing the Colosseum, going to the Wishing Fountain, the Fontana di Trevi. Oh my God, Davide's going to kill me for not remembering all those names. There's just so much to see. But it was just so beautiful, right? These things, these architectural artifacts just stood so tall, so elegant. And because you've seen them in the movies, it just felt so surreal, like being right in front of them. And, even just looking at the Colosseum, you can tell that it's gone through a lot, maybe 40% of it is gone, is eroded. But you can still see that it still stands elegant. Right? It is still, when you come face to face with it, you're still in awe. So again, it's just a reminder that it doesn't matter what you go through. It doesn't matter how many obstacles, how many things chip away at the relationship, right? When you're in it together and both of you are fighting for the same cause and you're fighting to make the relationship work, things might chip away, but it will still stand tall and it will still be beautiful. I also got to see the Vatican. Again, just beautiful, absolutely stunning. Didn't get to see the Pope, but that's okay. But again, just being there and just being able to see all these in real life, it was such a phenomenal moment. And getting to share it with Davide, who knew a lot of the history and told me a lot about how a lot of these monuments happened, a lot of all the wars, in fact, how Italy came to be, the story of the wolves raising the two boys, just a lot of history. It just like so much appreciation, just so much appreciation for the history and the story and the artifacts and the monuments. Beautiful. Okay, so that's enough about the sightseeing. The real reason why we were there was really to meet his family. So even though I've spoken to them over the phone, they don't speak English, by the way, and I don't speak Italian, but this was me meeting them in person for the first time. And the truth is, I had a lot of apprehension going there because my previous ex, the person I dated before Davide, meeting his family did not go down too well. I'm not going to get into that, but it just wasn't a great experience. So I had some, not hesitation, but I was a little bit cautious, a little bit anxious about meeting his family. But the moment I met them, it was like we'd known each other forever. Their warmth and hospitality, I was just blown away. It was like instant. Like I really connected with his sister, really connected with his dad, and it was just beautiful. All his dad kept saying was Bella, non poco. Like it just means that, she's really good looking. He was just really, really happy for both of us. And for me, the whole experience just made everything worth it. Like it just made the times that Davide and I have been together and working on our relationship and just making it beautiful and investing in each other and just growing as a partner. It just came down to this moment because I know what it's like to not have a supportive family or for you not to be received in a family. So their warmth and their love for me and just welcoming me into their family was just absolutely beautiful. And so there were key lessons that I learned from this whole experience, right? And I think for me, the first thing is really vulnerability. I had expressed to Davide, my anxiety, my anxiousness about meeting his family. And I think just being open and being authentic about everything going on with me, he was very supportive, and he really just helped to foster a deeper connection, a deeper understanding. And he was just there to hold my hand and support me and just ensure that I knew that it was okay. He just kept encouraging me and supporting me throughout the journey. So vulnerability is so key. It really did strengthen our bond. The second thing I want to talk about is cultural appreciation. So, I've talked about Davide and the Italian culture versus the Nigerian culture. And sometimes we do have some clashes, but just experiencing where he grew up, his background and his culture, it was really, really pivotal for me. I was able to embrace his heritage, embrace his traditions, and really respect him for that. And he also does that because, hey, the guy eats Nigerian food. But again, this being open to each other's cultures really, really helps to strengthen our relationship. And his family too were also open, asking me questions about how we do things in Nigeria. The third thing I want to talk about is shared experiences. I know, I'm not a receiving gifts is not a love language of mine, but just sharing these experiences. We've been on multiple trips. We've done a lot of activities, but every time we do one of these things, I find that it really does bring us closer together because now we're experiencing new things together. We're creating lasting memories, things that we can go back, talk about, laugh about. Davide had to shed some, he's going to kill me. He had shed some tears on this trip because there's just some issues that happened and he just broke down. But just those kind of experiences really, really strengthen our bond where we can both feel safe to really be our true selves, be our authentic selves, and just share and just go through this we did have some rough patches, not between us as a couple, but just some rough experiences while we're in Italy, some setbacks, and just dealing with it together and solving it together just made us a lot stronger. So like for me, I will always say experiences over gifts, because I think those are just memories that you can always go back and reflect on. And if you're like me, you have 50,000 pictures, so you can always travel down memory lane. For me, it's so beautiful. And, on our way back, and he said to me the night before we left, I'm so thankful that I got to bring you on this trip with me. I wouldn't want to be here with anybody else. Like, it was just that cherishing the moment, right? The moment of meeting his family, the moment of experiencing his culture, the traditions, all of that stuff. And him showing me stuff was so beautiful. And he got very emotional the night before we left. He loves his country, no doubt. Most Italians I know do. But it was just the appreciation and just enjoying that we were doing this together. Yeah, we had people around us most of the time, but the few nights that his birthday was also during the trip, and one night we had to have dinner with his family and his friends, and then the next day it was just the two of us. And I think that moment we just really enjoyed the whole day, just being together, being on the beach and just reflecting and laughing and just enjoying, just savoring the moment. So it was really, really beautiful. And for me, it just taught me a lesson that, you know what, life is too short. You need to cherish every single moment, every opportunity for joy. Go all in and enjoy it. And don't be thinking about the past or the future. Just stay in that moment and just enjoy the moment. It was so beautiful, right? So the trip to Italy, even though it was a trip that we planned a long time ago, and I just thought it would be one of our usual vacations, it was nothing like any of our usual vacations. And I think it was more special because his family was a part of it. And before the end of the trip, his sister already understood my style. She got me some things that I would buy for myself. So it was just a lot of thoughtful things that happened, a lot of deep connection. I felt like I expanded, my capacity to love really expanded, right? I've spoken about some of the challenges I had with my own family, and just seeing his dad being so warm and being very playful with his kids really just made me appreciate what family is, and knowing that, look, your past doesn't determine your future, right? If you didn't grow up in a loving, united home, it doesn't mean that your new family will not give you that. And it's another opportunity to heal and just embrace and enjoy the joys that are in front of you. So for me, great adventure, great experiences, great food. Did I mention they have great food? Great food, great wine, great gelato. Oh my God. But it was just an extremely beautiful trip. And I think that if our relationship got 100 times stronger since coming back from that trip, it's just really been a beautiful experience. So I want to encourage you as I wrap up. It is worth it. Like, the work that you're doing to prepare yourself or to find a partner is worth it at the end of the day. It is worth it to have somebody by you, to have somebody with you that you can share life with, you can do life with. You can share your challenges, you can share your joyous moments. You can just know that this person got me and I got them. It is worth it. So I want to encourage you to stay on this path. Keep working on yourself, right? And the right person will come into your life. And if you haven't been to Italy, buy that ticket, go to Italy. Jeez. Such a beautiful experience, such a beautiful moment for me, a trip that I will never, ever, ever forget. So that's my tale of my little trip to Italy. I hope you enjoyed today's episode on the Second Chances podcast, a love journey in black and white. Till next time, sending you love and light.